In this video, we are going to take a look at another Superstar version of one of the OG secret units in the game. This unit was the most overpowered unit in SpongeBob Tower Defense for a very long time. And one of my personal favorites, Spongehenge. And in this video, we are going to take a look at how well he does as a superstar. And we're going to answer the question, is he still relevant in the new era? Let's go! I think most of you will know that in the old era, Spongehenge for a long time was the most overpowered unit in the game. And he was hard to obtain. You had to grind and macro the game for hours on end, days on end, weeks on end. And then finally you could go into the prestige cave and claim max prestige and you would get your first Spongehenge, a normal one. And then you had to grind even more, and when you got enough prestige tokens, you could finally buy that shiny Wombo 5-star Spongehenge in the prestige shop. The ultimate unit. And when you got Spongehenge, you were proud. You had achieved something. Until app and abuse has made it so easy for anybody to get experience points, which also made it very easy to get Spongehenge. So what once was a very rare unit, now is a very common unit. But maybe he will get less common because the prestige shop is gone and we are getting a new one. And because Spongehenge was so easily obtainable because of the app and abuse, it was also fairly easy to superstar him. And I have done so. So you can see in my inventory, I have a shiny Wombo Superstar Spongehenge, level 250, completely maxed out, Sea Bear sidekick, and he has the new relic, the Hydrodynamic Spatula, so it doesn't get any better than this. And I was quick with superstarring, however, I still only have the number 831. So there were a lot of people superstarring Spongehenge when superstarring started. But now the question is, with all the overpowered units we have nowadays, is a Superstar Spongehenge still relevant? And we are going to find that out in this video. First off, let's take him into boss battles. Now, since the last time I played boss battles, they have nerfed the boss battles again. So first they made them more difficult, but now they are somewhat easy again. And I am not sure which boss Spongehenge could beat. So I think first off, let's take him into a battle with the benchmark, the Lionfish tier 5. So this is the legendary Spongehenge versus the Lionfish. And I will say it's looking quite good. I'm confident that he is going to beat the Lionfish, maybe even within 1 minute. So we are almost there, 2.4 million HP left, and the Lionfish has been defeated by Spongehenge. Easy peasy. It took him 46 seconds. So I think we can crank it up a bit. Maybe we should have him battle the Dungeon Master tier 5. Let's try this one. So here we are, the Dungeon Master versus Spongehenge. And the Dungeon Master, of course, is also one of the OG secret units. Not as old as Spongehenge. And sadly, one of the secret units I don't have. I was unable to obtain him from the event he was in, which I think was the Dungeons and Dragons event, which I grinded so long and so hard, and I opened so many of those crates, I just didn't get the Dungeon Master. Almost 2 minutes have gone by, and the Dungeon Master has a little over 60 million HP left, and he started with 232 million HP. Spongehenge is going to beat the Dungeon Master, which is awesome. Spongehenge is an old unit. I feel he's doing great. And Spongehenge is not made for boss battles. It's a full AoE unit. And normally full AoE units don't do well in boss battles. And there we go. The Dungeon Master has been defeated. And it took him 2 minutes 41. So I think we can crank it up a little bit more. Let's see if he is able to beat Maximus. But I'm going to try it out on tier 1. So there you have it, Maximus versus Spongehenge. Almost 1 minute has gone by and it's going slow. So I think Spongehenge won't be able to beat Maximus. I think, however, he is going to get pretty close. So I'm just going to let it run to see how far he gets. Maximus currently is still obtainable from the playtime prizes. However, I still don't have him and I would really like him. Even though in the new era he is obsolete, but he is very rare. And I'm guessing he's really big. At least he's one of the biggest bosses in the Colosseum. He is humongous. Here go the last 5 seconds of the boss battle. We are defeated, but he did a total of 436 million damage. So Spongehenge is not able to beat Maximus, but he might be able to beat Roark. So let's try Roark on tier 1. And Roark has 480 million HP. If I am remembering correctly, against Maximus, Spongehenge did 436 million HP, meaning he is not going to be able to beat Roark, if I'm correct. So we've got 8 seconds to go, and Roark still has over 50 million HP. So we are going to come up short. So I was correct, he is not able to beat Roark, but he got pretty close. So let's try out Nosferatu on tier 1 and see if he can beat him. We can safely say Spongehenge is going to beat Nosferatu. Nosferatu tier 1 has a little over 400 million HP and Spongehenge does 436 million damage in 5 minutes of boss battles. And with a little more than 20 seconds left, Nosferatu has been beaten. Very well done, Spongehenge. So Spongehenge on its own in boss battles is able to beat Nosferatu, which is kinda impressive for an old unit like Spongehenge, not gonna lie. Because remember, he's almost a year old. And now, let's take Spongehenge into Endless and see how far he gets on his own. And we are going to Constreet A Endless once again. So I'm going to use my pet as the starter units, and I'm going to place all the Krusty Krabs I can to get some money going. And we have some money, so let's place a Spongehenge. And he is full AoE, so it doesn't really matter where you place him. And we are just going to place all our Spongehenges wherever we can. The visual effects are going mental. It's hard to see anything, and I already have my graphics turned down a bit. If I turn them up higher again, it looks like this. This is absolutely crazy, and it's starting to lag as well. This is absolutely mental. This is SpongeBob Tower Defense, everybody. This is absolutely crazy. You cannot play the game like this. This is idiotic. So let's turn it down till here. We now have 7, and I think that's the max. Yes, I can place 7 Spongehenges. At base level, my Superstar Spongehenge is doing over 900,000 damage, which is kinda crazy for an old unit and kinda crazy for a full AoE unit. This is a big number. I know it's nothing compared to the prismatics we have nowadays, but remember, this unit is almost a year old. And at max level, he does over 1.4 million damage with an SPA of 0.3 seconds. But we do also have to take into account his animation speed. But I can remember that Spongehenge's animation time wasn't that long. So I'm looking at his animation speed right now. And when a anchovy comes out of the cave, it takes him about a second and a half to eliminate that anchovy. So in total, I think he needs about 1.5 seconds for each attack. Which isn't extremely fast, but it's not slow. There are way slower units in the game. Currently, we are at wave 151. All our Spongehenges have been maxed out, so now it's just a waiting game. We are going to leave it at 7x, we are going to leave auto skip on, and we're just going to see how far he gets. And if I'm remembering correctly, the Superstar Cyborg Plankton got to about wave 450, I think. I am expecting Spongehenge to go further. So I think he might reach wave 500 or even more. So it's time-lapse time. We have cleared wave 500 and the mobs are getting over halfway to the Krusty Krab. So let's see how far this dirty bubble goes. So he got till here and I am currently stuck in shift lock, which has already happened to me a couple of times during this recording. So I think SpongeBob Tower Defense might have a little bug and it's quite annoying. So I think we might be able to handle 1 or 2 more waves with the big dirty bubble, maybe 3. However, when the big dirty bubble goes far, there will also be big slow anchovy which go far. So this one got till around here. So the next one is probably going to end up somewhere around here. So this is the next big dirty bubble. He has 270 million HP. So the previous one got till here. And this one is getting to... Yes! This is pretty much spot on to what I predicted it would go. So the one after this is going to reach the Krusty Krab. If he's being accompanied by a lot of big slow anchovy, we are going down. We are going down, 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 down. So the big slow anchovy are going down over here. So we should be fine for the next big dirty bubble, which is this guy. So he will reach the Krusty Krab, I think. But he is not going to take us down. So let's see. No, he got taken down right in front of the Krusty Krab. And here is the next big dirty bubble. Now, can he do it? There we go. This is our first damage. But we still have 65 HP left. And we are currently at wave 578. So Spongehenge is doing awesome sauce. We are going to follow this next dirty bubble down the line and see how far he goes. I'm in the dirty bubble and I'm getting dirty. Let's see who can reach the Krusty Krab first. It's a photo finish. I think I was faster. So we have 30 HP left. So the next big dirty bubble is going to take us down. But it could also be a big slow anchovy that is going to take us down. So here is a big slow anchovy. I think he is not going to reach the Krusty Krab, or is he? He did! We got defeated by a big slow anchovy. However, the Superstar Spongehenge reached wave 602, which I would say is an incredible result. In the new era, where the Endless is way harder than it used to be, and for an old unit like Spongehenge, this is an incredible result. Here you have it, a fully maxed out Superstar Shiny Wumbo Spongehenge is able to reach wave 602 in Endless mode. Amazing result. If I'm not mistaken, in the old era, the 5-star Shiny Wumbo Spongehenge was not able to reach past wave 500. Of course, this is a Superstar, you expect it to do better, but the game also got buffed. Endless is more difficult than in the old era. So having an old unit like Spongehenge reach past wave 600 is awesome. So this brings us back to the question, is there a use for a Superstar Spongehenge in the new era? 100% yes. This is still one of my favorite units of all time. And there are many uses for Spongehenge still. And I am expecting him to become more rare as people are superstarring him. So if you can, I would try and get your hands on a Superstar Spongehenge. And I also feel the old secret units deserve more love than they are getting right now. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you like this video, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.